Today we're doing a Craft My Stash video packed with DIY crafts and creative home decor ideas. If you're someone who loves budget-friendly DIY, then you're going to love these projects. Welcome to the Chic Show. Today's playlist is hosted by Crafting My Best Life with Lisa and Making It My Own DIYs. This little piece also came from the Goodwill bins. I took it outside and spray painted the inside of it with some black spray paint. I thought it would just be easier than me trying to reach in there with a brush. Now I'm going to go ahead and touch up any spots that didn't particularly cover, which I don't know what the coating was on this, but some of it didn't cover very well. So I'm just touching that up with some Coal Black by Fusion. I'm going to be painting the two short ends with Homestead Blue from this month's box. I debated painting the entire piece with this color, especially the handle, and I may still go back and do that, but again, I thought the black paint would be the easiest way, the spray paint, to get down inside. So let me know what you think, if you like leaving the handle black or if I should go back and paint it with the Homestead Blue. Now I'm going to paint the two longer ends with raw silk that was also in this month's box. This is the other recycled paper that was included in this month's box, and I'm going to be piecing together a couple of different images for each side of this box. Now I'm going in with that Mod Podge again, and I'm going to be coating each side with a coat of the Mod Podge and set it aside to dry. I cut my decoupage paper to fit, and I did make it a little bit bigger, so again I can go in when it's completely finished and sand off those edges. I am using the iron-on method once again, so once my little heat press is heated and ready to go, I add that Teflon sheet and start in the center and work my way out, paying special attention to those edges. Gently running my fingers around the edges to make sure nothing is lifted. Then I'll move on to the other side and go through the same process. I think you'll love how this Target dollar spot piece turns into beautiful home decor. Once I sanded away the excess paper, I'm applying a coat of liquid patina to the top of both sides of the decoupage paper. Because where I sanded away the paper kind of made those edges light, I wanted to go back in with a little bit of wax and darken up the edges. So first I'm applying a coat of clear wax because this will allow me to wipe back the darker wax that I'm going to use after. Now I'm using some of that black wax by DIY, and I'm just going around the edges to darken them up, and then I'll wipe them back with a dry paper towel. This gives it kind of a subtle faded look on the edges besides covering up those lighter spots. This cutting board has a perfect shape for a mini sign. I'm going to give it a coat of Carriage House in Fusion paint, and I'm just painting the top of the cutting board. Fusion paint does have a built-in sealer, so there's no need to seal this after you paint, and it makes it the perfect surface for a rub-on transfer. I chose a transfer from IOD's Home Sweet Home transfer packet. While I knew this transfer wouldn't completely fit onto this cutting board, I love the way it looks with the way that I did it. So to cut off those edges so that they don't go around the sides, I just kind of rubbed extra along the edges there, and that pretty much cut the transfer so that it would not extend over to the side. I did use my backing paper to burnish the transfer down onto the cutting board to be sure everything was adhered nicely, and then I gently sand over the top with my finger sander. And to clean up any edges, I sanded around the edges with that finger sander as well. Once I have this all rubbed down, it will need to be sealed in. The paint is sealed in already, but the transfer also needs to be sealed, so I'll be using DIY's liquid patina. I added a little bit of black twine to the top. I would rather use a thin black leather, but I didn't have any, so I'm just using this black jute twine that I got on clearance at Walmart at Christmas time. Whether you hang it or lean it against your backsplash, it adds a touch of kitchen decor that feels both rustic and intentional. Particular item I got on clearance at Dollar General, and it just needed a little bit of love. I wanted it to be a little bit more farmhouse looking, so I removed the top and set it aside, and I'm going to give it 2 coats of buttercream by Dixie Belle. I applied the second coat using a round sponge brush in a stippling motion. This gets rid of any brush strokes that there are and helps to cover up any of those darker spots. I chose to use IOD's Florography paint inlays for this project. And for a paint inlay, you need a coat of paint that is dry, and then you apply a wet coat to apply your paint inlay to. This will allow the paint on the inlay to embed into the wet paint. And the process for this is add your wet paint, spritz your paint inlay on the back side, lay it into that wet paint as I'm doing here, and then spritz it again or use a dabbing motion with a wet paper towel and dab off any excess water. So I'm going to continue to do this all the way around the canister, and then I will set it aside to dry completely. Then once it is completely dry, you're going to come back, spritz it with water, dab away any excess, let it sit for about 30 seconds, and then you can start pulling away the backing papers. I continued all the way around the canister, pulling away those backing papers, and then I set it aside to dry. Once it was dry, I took it outside and sprayed it with a clear spray paint to seal in that paint, because paint inlays, you don't want to brush over them or you will smear the paint. Now for the top, I have this little wooden knob that I'm going to paint with black paint. It's by Fusion, I believe it's coal black. Use some Tite Bond Quick and Thick to glue my knob onto the center of the top. The bamboo was really a pretty color, and I like the contrast between the black and the bamboo, so I chose to not paint the bamboo top. I used a little Q-tip to remove any excess glue that seeped out around the edges and set it aside to dry. I love that this is still functional kitchen decor that keeps that vintage look alive. This is a piece I got on clearance, probably at Dollar General, and I'm just going to try and sand around the edges a little bit so that my paint will have something to grab a hold of. Now I'm using DIY's paint in Old 57, and I'm going to paint the front, back, and sides, and this will take about 3 coats to completely cover those words. Now I'm using one of IOD's distressing stamps, and I have inked up just the corner of that stamp, and instead of placing the stamp down onto my block, I actually placed my block onto the stamp. This is a resin casting that I made from, I think it was redesigned by Prima, their lock and key mold. And then I used some of DIY's patina paint and spray, which you've seen me do 1,000 times on this channel. And I rusted up that little lock and placed it in the middle of the block. I'm also applying some of IOD's gilded transfers to the top and the bottom of the block. I like the contrast between the primitive rustic look and then the gilded transfers. I used Titebond Quick and Thick to glue on my little lock to the center of the block and set it aside to dry. And lastly, to finish it off, I used my gold paint pen around the edges. Thanks for joining me as I craft my stash. I hope these home decor crafts inspired you. Be sure and watch this video here and check out the playlist for more fun DIY ideas. Thanks so much for watching. Remember to share the chic. Bye now.